The Painting with Magic Show with Brandon Thomas is brought to you by BrandonThomasArtSupply.com.
Hey, it's me, it's Brandon here with the Painting with Magic Show, and today we're going to do another awesome project. What I have is my 16 by 20 canvas, and I've got that covered with my signature Amazing White, and that's a Fredrix canvas. And today's oil paint is the Grumbacher pre-tested, and I should have a little image on the screen for you, just like this little palette here. Should be on the screen, telling you the colors that's on there. But the only color, two colors I'm not using that's on that palette is Prussian blue and Thalo green. So everything else but Prussian blue and Thalo green that you see on that palette. And you can actually get that palette print off out on my website at BrandonThomasArt.com. You click on the link that says, I believe, shows, and you scroll down, there will be a little file there you can get and print off. And so that should do it. And I'm using my signature brushes. And let's get monkey face. Today I want to do a beautiful, big, strong mountain with a waterfall in it. I think that'd be fantastic. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll take our old 2-inch brush and let's take a little bit of phthalo blue. Just a little tiny bit, just a dusting. You can kind of see that grain of that palette go through that paint. Just a tiny little bit. And tell you what, let's go up here now. Okay, let's start up here, and I'm gonna start right in the middle of this. Just work it in. Using an X stroke. You can use an X stroke, a circle stroke, a little zing, zing, zang, zang, wing, wang. You use what you want. Use what you want, just as long as you get it in. But I like to use the X stroke. There we go. You can see all those different things playing around. Yep, there you go. That's simple and that easy. You can have a little sky going on with some beautiful movements in it. Alright, I'm going to reload. Let's go down to the water here and we'll put a little bit of water in. And then for the water, there we go. Just get it in straight, flat, flat, flat. Keep the brush flat and then start working it up. There. That's simple and that's easy to do. There. Okay, so now that we have our little water and our little sky in, let's make some big puffy clouds. We're going to take an old 1-inch brush and go through some titanium white. Okay, let's go down to the palette here and I'll show you. Just right on the old 1-inch brush, I'm going to go swoop over here and just grab a little pinch of the red. Just a little pinch of the red. Just so it's just a slight warmth to it. Okay. And let's go up here now and start painting some little clouds. And I got this brush loaded really good on both sides of the brush. Really good. Okay, let's go up here. And right through here, I'm just going to start rolling in some clouds. Just make a decision. You use one little corner of the brush and just start to paint in your little clouds. Today's painting, I'm excited about it because we ain't done a little waterfall this season. I don't think we have anyway. So I think I want to do a little nice waterfall on this one, but I want to get a big mountain in here because that's the one I get the questions on the most. Is doing those big, strong mountains. So that's what we'll do. So I'm gonna wipe off that brush after you get done painting with it, and then just reload again into your white and a little dot of the red. A little bit of red really helps with rolling clouds. Okay. And before I continue, I'm going to take a nice clean 1-inch brush and use one corner of that and just blend it out, okay? Now I got a few little hairs here. This is a fairly new brush, and these are natural bristle brushes. That means you're going to have some shedding of your hairs of the bristles. Okay, that's just going to happen. Okay. Pop off that brush. And then just give it a little fluff. Just kind of let the brush float over the clouds. Just let it float over them. Just let them float right through. Okay, I like that. There we go. A little small one there. And we got that brush reloaded. And we're just going to put as another little cloud. And this one's got a little more red in it. So it's a little bit more warmer. A little bit more pink. That's going to look really nice, actually. So I just added just a little bit more pink to this one than I did the other one. Which, again, you can do it however you want. You don't have to add the little pink to it if you don't want it there. Don't have to do that. Okay. Just keep that brush kind of chiseled. It's somewhat chiseled, the brush is. And we just use that one corner and just start painting them in. All we're worried about is those shapes and then keeping the movement going through the cloud. That way it looks like those rolling clouds. You can add shadows under these clouds if you would like to, but I'm not going to today. Okay. Nice little in there. And I'm just going to soften at the bottom. Then I'm just going to grab another 1-inch brush. It's that same one we was using a while ago. And just using one corner of that brush. One corner. And just gently go through here. And give it a little fluff. Mop out the brush. And then now we're going to give it a nice little fluff. We're just kind of letting the brush graze those clouds. Just let it graze them. Kind of float the brush. Let the brush kind of float. Okay. There we go. I think it's time to start working on our mountain. Alrighty, so now we have our clouds in there. It's time to start working on a big mountain. I want a big mountain in here today. I want a pretty good size one. And then we're going to have a little waterfall down here. Maybe some trees under the mist of the mountain. And maybe some rocks and things. And we'll see how it goes. So I'll tell you what, we're going to make up a basic mountain-based mixture. This is a very easy mixture. You can make it yourself. Obviously, we're doing that today. But I want to show you how to do it. And what's a good formulation for it. So let's go to the palette and I'll show you the colors we're going to use to make a beautiful base for our mountain. Okay, so right here I'm going to mix up that base. I've got some titanium white. And that's just a titanium white that was just dirty that we used to make the mountain, the clouds with. So we'll just take some of that white. Okay, get some white. And then we're going to take some phthalo blue. You can use Prussian blue or ultramarine blue. Whatever blue you have, put that in there. And then you're going to add some ivory black. And that's about a equal parts mixture there. And then we'll take a little bit of red, put that in. And then we'll take a little bit of burnt umber and put that in. And this is 5 colors, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colors. And we're going to mix that all up right here. And we add the white so we can see what we got, but it also decreases the darkness of it. And I want you to see how blue that is. See how blue that is? That tells me I need more red to tone, make a different tone. Okay. And then, if it's too light, I need more black. I need more black in it. Maybe even more burnt umber. If you don't have burnt umber and you have Van Dyke brown, you can use Van Dyke brown. Whatever you got. And I like this color pretty good. Now you can decide, do you want it on the green side or the red side? If you want it more on the red side, add a little bit more red. Which I just want to tone it down just a little bit more. Then I want to add just a little more black to it. This gives me total control over what I've got going up there. And so that's where we want to go. Now if you want to make another mountain that's lighter, just add more white to it on the side. If you want darker, add more black. So it's whatever you want to do. I'm liking this color pretty good. I may add a little more black to it. And I think that's what I want right here. Okay? And then to get a roll of paint, you just pull out the paint flat and you cut across. And you get a nice little roll of paint. You can also pull it out flat and scrape it up and also get that roll of paint. So I'll tell you what, take this roll of paint and let's go up here now. Now we got to make a decision of how big our mountain's going to be. And I'm going to grab a filbert brush. And I'm going to just take a little bit on the filbert brush. I just dabbed it a little bit. And we got to decide how big this is going to be. I want the top of the mountain to go there. You can start designing your peak points. Peak there, peak right down there. Maybe this peak was a little higher than that. And then maybe, you see, you start designing it out, just like so. And then we want to come down pretty far. So like I said, I want a big, strong one in here today. And who knows, we may have another little peak that shoots inside that mountain. And just see how this one goes. So that's what I'm going to do with the filbert. You can continue using the filbert brush. But I'm going to now use my palette knife to start adding in my mountain. I'm just going to go a little bit taller than what I showed you there. And then scrape out the paint. Now we're going to go right through that big thick cloud. Oh man, I don't like to lose that big cloud, but you know, you had to go bye-bye. There we go. And just start designing it out. Grab it and scrape it. See how that color is just not too dark, but it just seems to be just right. And there's another peak right there. Scrape it out. You're not going to hurt your canvas. Okay, you're not going to hurt your canvas. You're not going to hurt your palette knife. Get in there and scrape it out. This one a little bit bigger. There we go. And you can decide if that's how you want your mountain to look. Maybe there's another little peak right there. And just scrape it out. Really good. You're going to scrape it out. Alright, there you go. Wipe that old palette knife off. Okay, we're going to grab our 1-inch brush now and start pulling out this mountain. We just come in here and grab a little bit and use X strokes if you have to, and just pull out that mountain. Pull it out. And if you need to, you can grab your filbert brush and just pull out that edge if you need to do that. Don't have to go in there with the big brush. You can use the old filbert brush for this. Just continue pulling it out, however, which way you want to go. You can make some very nice sharp edges with this brush for your mountain. Okay. There we go. And then we're going to go back here with that 1-inch brush again and just pull out the majority of that paint out. You really want to pull it out with the 1-inch brush for this part because you don't want this paint to be real thick and gloppy or clumpy on here. Okay. You want it to be very, very thin. Very thin. Okay. Just like that. There's our mountain. And while I'm working on the mountain, I'm going to grab a Hake brush. Okay, I just grabbed the Hake brush and I added a little amazing white to it. And I'm going to grab in here and put in some mist down here at the bottom using the old Hake brush. And then let the paint work off the brush and then just ease off on the pressure. No pressure. No pressure. No pressure at all. Just like that. Let it work itself right into the mist. That easy. There you go. Okay. Working that mist down a little bit more. Okay, good. Okay, now we have our mist in here. Let's go to the palette and load the palette knife up and start highlighting our mountain. Okay, so we're going to take our knife and pull it out flat. Pull it out really flat. And then just cut yourself off a roll right on the edge of your knife. Okay, that's all you need. And let's go up here now. So now we decide on where our highlights are going, and I'm going to go to the right today. And so we're going to take this knife, and no pressure at all. The knife, grab a hold of it, stick, and give it a little pull. Give it just a little pull. And I like to do little jabs. I don't like to give it a full, just straight up pull down the mountain. I like to give it some little jabs. Okay, just like so. And then we go on this side of the mountain here and put it in. Some little jib jabs. No pressure. Let that paint just come off the knife. Okay. if your paint is too dry. Now, it's probably the first time you're going to hear this one from a wet-on-wet painter. If the paint is too dry, it will not stick that good. I'm telling you right now, it will not stick very good if it's too dry. Because if it's too dry, it just doesn't stick that good. It has to have a little oil in it just so it can stick and grab a hold of things. But it still has to be rich and firm. Okay, don't get me wrong on that. But you don't want it to be extremely dry. And then over here, we can just start working on this mountain just a little bit more. No pressure. Work it right down. Just like that. Right down to that misty area. Right down to there. Okay, there we go. Now you make a decision over here if you got anything going on. However which way you want to do it. I still think we're going to come down just a little bit more. Break there. Break right through there. There we go. Now I'll tell you what, let's make up a color for our shadow. And so we'll go down to the palette now. So we got our little bit of white. And we're going to take a little bit of phthalo blue. A little phthalo blue. A little bit of phthalo blue. It depends on how you want it to go. I typically like mine to be fairly on the light side of it. So I think that's going to look good. So I'll tell you what. Let's take a roll of this and go right up here. Okay, so start working your paint in. Start working it in. Start pulling in your shadows. Just like so. Work this one. There we go. And then we work this big one now. Now we can just grab the little small end of the knife to put him in. Sometimes he has to have that little small edge. Just like that right there. You see how that just goes right on in? And we can just work it in some more. There's on the old knife. You just go back to the little small edge of the knife. Whatever's working for you. Okay? Whatever's working for you. And then we can start working on this one. Make sure we just pull this out a little bit so it's kind of like it's in shadow, in the shadows. Just like so. And so when we pull this one in, it's going to look like it pops out even more. It's a very simple, very awesome way to paint your mountains. Very awesome. Trying to do that, Misty. Okay, there we go. And we probably go back to the titanium white real quick and just decide on, hey, where we want to just mess around a little bit more at. Maybe some areas you want to hit again with your white. Could be some more areas. You know, like I said, just play around with it, see how you want it to go. And make those decisions however which way you want to do it. This one a little lower here. There we go. Okay, so you can just keep on playing with it however you want to go. However which way you want to do it. Just keep on working it. You can go back and forth with your highlights and your shadows. Don't forget that. Now I'm taking here, no paint is on the knife. And I'm going to dry knife it. You hear about dry brush again, I want to dry knife it. I just added just a tiny bit of color there. Now I'm going to wipe off the knife and I'm going to dry knife it again. There. I may add just a pinch just a tiny little staining. Just a tiny little staining here. Just ever so slightly add just a little more dark in that little hole right there. And oh man, I love doing that right there. That just really gives you a mountain that just looks like it's got some depth into it. I'll work that around just a little bit. There we go. And there is our mountain. And what we'll do is we'll go back to our Hake brush with no paint on it. Okay, so we're going to take our Hake brush now and just gently, no pressure. Now this brush is made out of goat hair. And I'm going up here and I'm hitting extremely thick and firm paint. If I don't get a hair come out of this brush, that would be a miracle. So this is a goat hair brush. It's very, very gentle. It's very soft. Most watercolor artists use these brushes. This is what they're really designed for. But I like using them for softness and blendiness. Okay, and when you first get one of these brushes, they will shed a lot of hair because they're just brand new. It's a very gentle brush. And then as you go, it sheds less hair. But again, it takes you a while to break in a Hake brush just simply because of the fact that, well, they're not made for this stuff. They're not really made for painting firm oil paints. But look at the effect you get with this brush. It's worth those few little hairs I get that I just have to pluck off just so I can get that beautiful look. That's amazing. Okay, that right there is realistic looking mist and fog. Okay, there we go. Alright, so now that we have our beautiful little mountain there and our beautiful mist and fog in there, I want to start working on adding some trees. I want to add some trees under that mist. If we can do it, we'll try to do 2 layers in there, but we'll see what we can get in there. And so we're going to take our mountain mixture and I'm going to add a little sap green to that mixture. Okay, so I'm just adding some sap green to this mountain mixture here. And that's going to be too dark, so I'm going to take some titanium white right on the side of it there. A little bit more. Okay. And then we'll crunch the brush right into the paint by tapping it. So I'm just tapping the brush into it. And that opens up the bristles. Okay, I'm hoping you can see that. It's opened up the bristles on this brush. Okay, nice and open. Alright, let's go back here now. So right through here, like I said, we're going to go below that mist and decide if that's going to be light or dark. We'll see. Again, I don't want to go too far up high. If you go too far up high, it's just not going to look right. So I'm going to bring it down a little lower. And just work it in. Just like so. Adding in these trees. Just like that. Just work it all over. We're going to work it over the whole canvas, actually. There's these beautiful trees that live in this painting. They just kind of get taller as they get closer to you. And I just added a little darker mixture. Just the one that we mixed right next to it. And let's add a little more darkness to it there. Okay. I'm going to take a little more white to that light mixture color. Let's go on this side. And start working on this. Little trees. A little darker again. Okay, there we go. Now let's work on the water, getting this water in. So let's take our 2-inch brush, the one we use for our sky, and we're just going to grab a little bit of paint and just give it a little pull. Okay, give it just a little pull. If you have a lot of paint on here, it's going to be difficult to do those pulls. Although we probably won't have any water on this side. But let's go ahead and take it and go straight across with it. Wipe off that brush if you need to. And then just pull it straight across. Just like so. It's a very simple process to do. And then we take a brush and we can pull straight up on those trees. And what this also does is it helps line them up a little bit more. But it also fades them into the background just a little bit. It fades them back there just a little bit. I'm not going to fully fade them back. But I just want to bring them and push them back a little bit more. By pulling straight up. If you have a ton of paint on here, you can get in a mess. Okay, that looks nice right there. Now we're going to decide exactly where our waterfall will be. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a fan brush, number 3 fan brush. I'm just going to take a little titanium white, and I'm going to grab a little amazing white with it. Just kind of thin it down. And I'm going to go back here and just kind of do some of those little rocking motions. Kind of same rocking motions we used on our seascape last week. And just get this water like this going. Some shimmers and all that good stuff. Like that. And then we can decide, oh man, there's where our waterfall can go. We can decide that's where it goes. We'll take some blue, little that dark tree, that lighter tree color we had. See, oh, there comes our waterfall. Now, is it going to be a big waterfall, a little small waterfall? You decide. I'm just using the tree color. That's all that I'm using here. Work it back in there. So, but you can see basically where this waterfall is working to. You have a double waterfall. Like that right there, you see? Another little waterfall. But you decide, you make a decision however you want to go. Okay, so there's our base for our waterfall. And let's get closer up here. And what I want to show you here is I have my titanium white. I picked up amazing white and I want to thin down just a little bit of this color. About 50-50 on the mixture. Reached in there, I just grabbed a little tiny of that tree color here. And then give it just a little push. Okay, and that's how we're going to paint our waterfall. Let's go back up here. And so here's a little waterfall. And we're just going to decide where our waterfall is. And just kind of follow all those movements that we had before. 50-50 mixture, give it a push. Go straight down with that waterfall. Another one. Straight down. Straight down. And straight down. So keep it level. Keep that water level. And you can bounce in a few things. You take that brush and load it to a crunch brush. And you can just bring in some of that right down into the water. Just kind of like we did our wave. You know, it's kind of like a wave in a way, but you can have it however way you want. And back to that paint again, and just you can do some of these little strokes like this. Keep it kind of flat and simple. Okay, something like that, and then way back here, I think I'm gonna wipe off that brush, and I'm gonna use my fan brush here and just do some little circles here. I want some mist floating back here on the water. You see that floating on the water. It just kind of floats on the water. Some mist on the water. And then we'll take our old Hake brush again. And just gently soften that in. And just some mist on the water. Okay, there we go. Now I want to make some more mist in here. So let's get a little closer. Okay, I'm going to take this Hake brush and I'm going to grab Amazing White. Amazing White, maybe a little bit of titanium white with it, but I'm going to load the brush. And I'm going to go right here and start at the main bottom of the canvas there. And then start working up some more mist. Using the edge of the brush, I can do all that good stuff right there too. But making the mist and the fog, you know, it's just not all from that water, from that waterfall. So don't think it all has to come just from that waterfall. If you live around water, you know you can have some very foggy days. Some very foggy days. You can have some real foggy stuff going on. Something like so. And then we can bring back some of that waterfall. Just inside it there. Side. This could be early in the morning, you know. All that fog we got in this painting. Then I'm going to go to my filbert brush. And then I'm just going to add some paint to it. Just some of that dark mountain color we used earlier. So we still have some of that saved. So we just grab the filbert brush here. Let's go on here. Go right over here. And start designing in a rock. Just like that. This rock can be just showing some things. And then we take our 1-inch brush. And just put that fog going all the way around it. You can have another bit of the rock coming over here. You can start seeing some of that rock come through. But since we have so much mist in here, that you're not going to see a whole lot. But just going to have some mist all around these rocks. Let's fix this one up just a little bit more. There we go. And that's good there. Let's go right here in the middle of the waterfall. Put in a little dab. Just kind of split, like, you know, it's going to have a little bit of a split if there's going to be two separations. Right down to the mist it goes. Let's go over here. Back to that same mountain mixture. This one here we're going to see more. We'll see a little bit more of this rock. I have some ideas today of what I may or may not do here. So I'm just going to fill this in a little bit. Just a little bit like so. Bring it down to the mist, grab that 1-inch brush, and just mist the bottom of it out as well. Mist it out. There we go. Let's go to the palette. Okay, we're going to make a color now for our highlights for our rocks. We're going to take some titanium white, burnt sienna, burnt umber, and a little sap green. Maybe a little more sap green. Kind of marbleize it in there. Okay, I changed my mind a little bit as I was thinking about it. I want to add some mountain mixture to it. I'm thinking it's too brown. We got too much of a blue hue going today. That this brown would just not work that good. So we want some brown, but we're going to take that mountain color. White, brown, all them colors that's already in it. That's the better choice. So more white, make it lighter. Maybe a little more blue. And that's going to be the color. I think that's a good one. Let's take it up here and see what we got. Let's see what color we got here. Oh, that's going to work, I think. Just like that. And we can just start putting in our little mountain, our little water rocks. Let's go over here. And then we'll just hit this one. There's a couple little there. Just hit that one. Let's go over here to this one. And then we'll hit this other one over here. But I want a very foggy, I've been really getting into the foggy stuff here lately. Some more misty things. Okay. And I'm just going to fix it up with just a little X stroke here. This is what I was kind of thinking about doing here, but before we go into what I'm thinking about doing, let's load up that old fan brush into that dark tree color we made up. So I'm just going to load that and we'll go up here real quick to the canvas. Okay, and right over here, I'm going to add in a big old tree. Think about just adding one tree. Think about just adding one tree. One tree. So I'm going to use one little corner of the fan brush. And work it down. So we work this fan brush into it. And we work it all the way down to the bottom. Down here at the bottom. It's reloading. And it's the same tree color we used back there, but the darker version. Remember the first one we made? If you have to, you can rewind the video to find it. But that's basically it. Okay, there we go with that tree. Then I'm going to take an old palette knife. I'm just going to add just a little burnt sienna to that color we used for the rocks. Just pop in a few of these little areas. You can probably see those. And then use one corner of my knife to scratch out some stuff. There we go. I'm going to take a 1-inch brush. Just go down to the palette. Okay, I got a 1-inch brush now. I'm going to go through cadmium yellow and a touch of the yellow ochre with that. And then I'm going to just grab a little sap green. Hit it on both sides of the brush. Yellow ochre and all that good stuff. Maybe a touch of the red. Ooh, yeah. That looks good. Both sides of the brush, and I'm going to give this brush just a little push. Maybe I'm going to grab a little bit of that color we used for the tree itself, just to darken it up just a little bit. Okay, oh yeah, that's great. And just like that, the brush is kind of loaded almost to a chiseled edge, but not quite. Let's go up here now. Now we're going to take this 1-inch brush and start working down this tree. Working down it. I want just a little bit more of a green flavor. It's just too yellowy for me. Too yellowy for me. And just work it down. If it's not sticking, add more amazing white. Now, if you're a little scared to use the 1-inch brush for this, you can use the fan brush. But I wanted this flavor today, a little bit more like this today. So just going to use this brush to highlight it with. Let's go down here. Just simple. There you go. Just like so. Easy. Easy to do. You could even brighten it up a little bit by going back through your yellow ochre and stuff again and adding more amazing white. So by just adding more yellow and amazing white to the brush, you can come up here now and just smack a few extra little kisses of light on your tree. Just a few little more. That's good enough for me. And then I'm going to set my brush down. Take my knife and I can scratch in a little more detail right into that tree. There we go. Okay, so we're going to take that brush we used just for highlighting the trees with. I'm going to add a little more sap green to it. And tap it in there. And just come through here and tap around those rocks. Again, like I said, we don't have to see every bit of these rocks. We just want to throw in some nice little grass living around those rocks there. Okay, just like this. Like that, and we can just scratch in some stuff here with this knife. Just like so, very simple and easy to do. Okay, and I'm just going to add a little more amazing white, maybe a little more titanium white. Just so I can get a little bit lighter on some of these. Just like that. See a little more light come through. But you can see some of those rocky textures in there. And that's what we're kind of after there. Alright, there we go. Next, I'm going to take my script liner brush. Let me find that liner brush. Let's go to the palette. Okay, so I'm going to take some Amazing Clear. And I'm going to thin down some of this color we're using for the grass. A little more Amazing Clear. Okay, there we go. Nice and thin. Roll that brush into it. And it's nice and sharp pointed. Let's go up here. And right through here, we can start to add in some taller grasses. Now, you may not be seeing it right off the bat. That's okay. I'm just going to get in the background once fluffed in here. And then I'm going to add a little more Amazing Clear. And a little more Amazing White, just so I can lighten it up. And now you should start seeing some of these come through. Maybe a little more titanium white. Beautiful tall grasses just lay in here. And all thing we're doing, we're taking this and we're pointing them towards the mountain into the waterfalls as well. Just so everything just kind of pushes everything back over here to our main focus area. That's why this tree here, it stops this area here from the light from going too far out. And just helps it bring everything back. Okay, hopefully you can see these over here. Just like so. There we go. There we go. Now I'll tell you what we'll do. I'm just going to take this fan brush with some white on it. And let me get some Amazing White real quick. Right here. Right here. And take a little more Thalo blue. And then crunch the brush right into that paint. Let's go up here now. And we're going to take this and make some flowers. And here's some blue flowers. If you need to, you can add more white to it and a little more Amazing White if you need to. Just get the stick. You can use pink, but I typically like to use the blue. It kind of helps cool in the area here because there's a lot of warm colors here. But I'm letting these lead out a little bit more. Just tap them around. They're great little fillers. You can even tap a little bit of this back here too, just so the color's back there. So there we go. Those flowers are kind of all over the place. There we go. Pretty good stuff. There we go. Over here we have such a negative area here that I'm just going to take that brush we use, the 1-inch brush here. And I just want to kind of pop in a little kind of rock. Kind of lives right there. Lives right there. And maybe some little tall grass kind of can shoot off from him. This time we're going to go this way. Shoot this way, this way. Like that. And we can even throw a couple little flowers just hanging on that one. I just washed the brush. And I'm painting right into some amazing white. Putting right some amazing white in here. And just going to throw in a few little dots. Just to add a little more texture. More like the flowers in here. Just like that. We can do the same thing on the other side as well. And then over here we can just see there's a few little of these white flowers. Like daisies, I guess you could say. A little bit out here. Right through here as well. And there you have it. I think we have a finished little painting. Good. Alrighty, so I just got done finished signing my painting. It's always important to sign your painting, so make sure you never forget to do that. This one was a super fun one to do. I always enjoy painting mountains, and I get so many requests to do mountains, so I thought we would do a lot more mountains for the rest of the season here. So this has beautiful fog and mist in here, and it shows you how you can pull things out of the fog and how you can add just little details that just set a painting off. You can add these same little details to any painting that you do as far as the landscape goes. So I do hope you enjoyed painting this one. Please join us on our Facebook group. It's Brandon's Wet on Wet Club. I'll have a little link in the description for that, so you can go there and join us on Facebook, and you can share all your paintings. You can ask questions, and just a good little community of artists to help each other out and learn how to paint. So I do hope you check that one out. Please check out BrandonThomasArtSupply.com. That's where you can get my signature brushes, the great big old 1 and 2 inch brushes you see me use on here. All these green handle brushes and tools you see are my signature brushes. And so you can get those at BrandonThomasArtSupply.com, along with Amazing White and Amazing Clear, along with these big old wooden palettes. So we got quite a bit of little selection there that you can choose from on the website. And I want to thank you so much for your support. It means so much to me. We come back to season 7, and your support has been just amazing. I do appreciate it. I love you very much. And I want to say God bless you. I love you, but Jesus loves you more. And I'll see you real soon.
The Painting with Magic Show with Brandon Thomas is brought to you by BrandonThomasArtSupply.com.